Hey there, welcome to another tutorial, and I'll be showing you how to make Afrobeat melodies step by step. Now, this is a quick tutorial, but it's surely going to help you make much better melodies. Easy to follow and easy to understand. So let's get started. So I already have my sounds pre-selected. I have this electric piano from FL Studio, is a stock plugin. This is how it sounds like. And then I have this jazz guitar, also from FL Studio. Instruments, if you come to the packs folder by your left-hand side, and you come to instruments, you see the keyboard, the electric, and then for the guitar, you see the jazz. So this is jazz guitar, but it's routed into a fruity chorus, just the default effect, and then a fruity delay at a four-step delay. Okay, so just to get that groove going. And then I have an ambient melody from Xenology. This is the preset I'm using. You don't have to use this exact preset, but you want to look at the character of sounds I'm using. So for the guitar, this will be my lead melody. Okay, so let me rename that. Okay? And then this electric right here will be my chord, ambient. Okay, and this will also be my ambient. Another one, ambient 3. This will be pad. This would be, I know it doesn't sound like a bass, but when I come to a lower octave, this is the sound from the analog lab. When I come to a lower octave, so I like the sound, but it's actually a synth key, but I like the bass sound, so I'll be using that as my bass. So I'll rename that as bass. Okay, so for the ambient, this is the preset I'm using for the sky keys, always danger. And then for this, for pigments, I'm using the chamber session. So you can see, so you can just follow along, just try and get these presets that I'm using, so you follow along and you get, similar results as me. But if you don't have these exact plugins, now what you can do is take note of my sounds, right? They all sound very different from each other. You see, my chord, my lead melody, even my 3 ambient melodies, right? You can hear this, they all sound different. Then if you hear my pad, also different from my ambience, then my bass. So this is what is most important, getting sounds that all sound different, but they can come together, to feel good. Okay, so because if you pick sounds that are too similar, you're going to have them blending in that they won't stand out. You end up having a lot more instruments. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is play my chord. My tempo is at 110, so I'm going to come to chord, and I'm going to be producing this on G major. Okay, so you can do this on any key, by the way. It doesn't matter, but I just feel like working on G major. Okay, so I'm going to play chord. Now, if you don't know how to play chords, I recommend you get my MIDI chord pack, which makes it really easy. It has over 100 MIDI chords specifically for Afrobeat and Amapiano. The Mega MIDI bundle pack has 6 different chord packs inside of it, and each of those 6 packs has 20 unique chords in. So you have like about 120 MIDI chords. So it's going to be difficult for you to run out of inspiration. So if I come to, let's say, this right here, and I just drag a sound in here into the piano roll of the sound I chose. See, nice chords. If I drag another one in here, since I already have an idea for a chord that I want to play, so I'm going to stick to that. I have an idea, okay? So I'm going to come right here, play my chord. How you play a chord is simple, 1, 3, 5. Okay, wherever you click is your number 1, number 2, number 3. You only count the light gray lines, okay? Number 4, then number 5. So 1, 3, 5. Then just spread it across 4 times, and they'll move it. Make sure this is enabled so that when you move it across scales, it sounds accurate. Move this down. I like that. So I'm going to do some inversions. Just highlight this and highlight this. So just to make it sound a bit bassy, I'm going to add a note down here. Nice, I like that. So next thing I'm going to do is play my lead melody, come to piano roll. I'm going to follow these light gray lines in my chord. Dun, dun, dun. Use the length. Let's try this light gray line. I like that sound. Then just duplicate it since it's the same chord progression. But I'll change this. Yeah, and then highlight this movie here. And the beauty with having this scale, snap to scale enabled is that I can mess around. For example, I can bring this down so that it stays on the root key, and then I can just do a little bit of tweaking instead of playing it again, from the scratch. So you see, I don't have to play, anything crazy there. Then I'll come here and move it up. Dun, dun, dun. I think this will be better here. Yeah, I prefer that too. Let's make the notes a bit longer. Stretch it out a bit. Then for the ambience, I'm just going to keep it real simple. For ambient, now there's so many ways you can play your ambience melodies, right? And I always recommend you keep it simple because if not, you're going to have clashes. Okay, so I'm going to come right here. And typically, they're usually within the 5th and 6th octave, but because I'm using this as a guide, okay, for again helpful for beginners, I'm going to have this here. Taking it to a higher octave to hear how it sounds. Nice. So let's complete it and see. Let's also hear how it sounds on the 6th octave. I think I prefer this. So I'll keep this for now. I may come back to the 5th octave, but for now I'll keep this. Now for my second ambience melody, I'm going to play it at a different position, okay? So it doesn't clash with this guy, okay? That is the start times. Now this is not a rule, it's just a guide, okay? So I'm going to come right here. So if you see this guy right now, right, it's placed 2 steps after, right? 2 steps after, 2 steps after. So for this guy, I'm going to come right here and play maybe at the beginning. Again, I'm using the 4th octave, but typically it's also be on the 5th and 6th octave. Let's adjust the length. I may not want it to be too long here. So now the guide with this second ambient melody is you don't always have to stick exactly to the light gray lines anymore, but that is these chord lines. You have to stick exactly to them. Now you can play around a little bit with the other notes that make up the scale, okay? So that it makes your melody sound a bit more interesting rather than them being too rigid on the chords, okay? So since they are still in scale, it still works. All right, so if you see, it's not going to clash with my initial lead, with my initial counter melody. If you see this ghost channel right here, you see there are 2 steps before it starts here, 2 steps before it starts here, and this guy came just after, okay? So the point is, when you listen, it should sound like there's a balance of the rhythm. Okay, it shouldn't sound like they're all just hitting together at the same time. It should sound like some notes start a bit later and or a bit earlier. Okay, so you get that balance in rhythm. So let's take it to a higher octave and hear how it sounds. Uh, Let me take this to a higher octave and maybe this. Nice. Let me try high octave again. Now, at that high octave, it's now clashing with my original or with my initial ambient melody. So again, I'm going to bring it back down so that I can hear both clearly. I'm going to reduce the volume. I think it's quite loud. And then now for my third ambient, this is just me going to play basically on the root key. So I'm going to come right here. Then take it to a higher octave. So the reason why this works, even though they are, it's now lining up with my second ambient melody, is because the sound is very different. So the chances of a clash happening is very minimal, right? Unlike these two, they kind of sound like at some point they're going to clash. So that's why I try to separate them in rhythm and in octave, okay? And then to play my pads is also pretty simple. All I have to do is copy my chords and paste it in here. Now for pads, typically again, 5th and 6th octave. 4th octave could work, but most times 5th and 6th octave. I think I'll keep it on the 5th octave. Okay, it's already sounding, quite full right now. Time for the bass. Remember, our bass is actually a synth key. So we're going to play on the low octave. Typically, bass are played on the 3rd or 4th octave most times, okay? So let me just come right here, use this, use this, use this, and use this. Let's see. Let's try this down. Nah, it's not powerful there, so I'm going to take it up. So I got this drum loop from the Control Groove drum loop kit, which is available. The link is in the description of this video. It has 3 different packs, and each of these packs have 10 different loops and stems. Okay, so the stems, so in total you're getting like over 100 loops. So even if you don't use the full drum loop, you can use the stems. Maybe you like the percussions of a sound, or you like the kick pattern or the rim shot pattern or the shaker pattern, you can use that. So I'm going to use this, reduce this, and then so let's say I feel like adding this percussion loop in there. So it's that simple. So if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials, tips, and tricks. Cheers.